How's it, guys? So in this video it's quite interesting, but I'm going to show you another clip shortly of what happened. It was about 5 months ago to this sort of time, so it was in December, our breeding time for a lot of our boa constrictors. So in this video that's coming up, you'll hear that in my voice I'm really down and out about it all. It's really sad what was going on. But yeah, let's take a look at this video. It's quite interesting, and maybe you guys can learn a little something from the experience I went through. Now, it's always very tricky with breeding animals. A lot of the time, you know, you can lose animals from breeding. Things can get egg bound. I've even had boas that have ovulated, perfectly healthy animals, and they just have a massive ovulation and just drop dead. So breeding reptiles is not always easy, and what glamorous is what it's made out to be. So this video is just to show you things that can happen. Fairly good results in the end. We're going to show you those as you keep watching this video. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's check it out.
Alright, so this morning we got quite a nasty surprise here. We've got some little baby boas, and unfortunately these are all premature. As you can see here, the yolk attached. There's a lot of yolk still. So the babies have fully formed, but they are premature, so not too sure they're going to make it. So they are alive. You can see they move. And these here are slugs. These are eggs that were infertile. And you can see the veins that feed oxygen to the babies. Now obviously, with these being out and in the open without a hard shell around them, they're not protected, so the oxygen's not feeding through to them properly. They're going to dry out and blood vessels will die. So yeah, it's pretty sad. At a lot of time this is how things can go, especially with the genetics of these pairings apparently. So I've bred an anery to an albino, and they both carry each other's genes. So like the anery carries the albino gene and the albino carries the anery gene, and that's why we've got a little snow baby over here. And apparently the snow gene's a little bit weak. You can also see we've got a little deformed baby here, unfortunately also alive. So we're gonna have to, this guy won't be able to survive at all, if any of them will survive. So we're gonna have to put this little guy down, which is very unfortunate. Every year this female normally drops duds or premature babies, so there's obviously something that's not quite right with this pairing, so might have to try a different male another time. So here you can see one that's still in the sack. We can actually see if where its head is, we can open up here. Hopefully it's also not a deformed one. So the fact that they're fully formed is good. Oh, this one's got funny eyes. Yeah, funny eyes, all messed up. Still busy forming maybe a bit. And you can see here's a nice albino, but also we're not too sure if they're going to make it. You can almost see the colors maybe not quite as where it should be. And obviously the snows, they have no color at all. But the fact that some of these animals are fully formed, I'm wondering if, you know, let them sort of absorb as much more as they can and maybe tie them off if they will actually survive. Because I think they are starting to breathe on their own, and the fact that they are fully formed, they're just going to be very small. Because this is pretty much like their last meal before they are bred out. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And we've got a really badly deformed one over here where the heart is on the outside and everything. So yeah, breeding reptiles is not always that easy and glamorous. There's some really difficult things to deal with at times, and a lot of the time people won't share things like this. You know, it's always all the good stuff, all the happy endings that are shared and published. So yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to be publishing this. So you're being pretty sad in that, but I mean, if something can be learned from it, that'll be great. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm just going to pop them all in a little container and keep them nice and warm and moist. You can see here's another snow baby. This one's got a little bit of a problem with the one eye, but I mean that's not worth something to put him down. Whether or not they're going to make it, maybe I should put them down now, that's another question. Be a little bit of a learning experience maybe. Okay, so it's the next day. These babies have been kept in the incubator, so you keep them nice and warm, and we've kept them moist and everything. But unfortunately we've got one of the snows here that has passed away. Not too sure, it could have been infection or just weak. I mean, they are premature, so this little guy unfortunately didn't make it, so he might just be king food for the king cobra. But we've got some of the other ones which are alive, and this one over here, this one's actually becoming quite feisty. Really beautiful anery. So that's an anery head for albino. Really nice contrast, but the colors can also be because it hasn't developed fully as well. So we're hoping this little guy will make it. He dropped his umbilical and everything. You can see all the veins have died off, and the smell is actually quite horrific. And I mean, it's only been like 24 hours. So we're gonna just sort of take these little guys out, see if they see this one's still got quite a lot of umbilical attached. I'm just giving them like a little rinse and everything. We might actually start to tie off the umbilical and stuff like that. I mean, if all the veins and everything are dead, this one still looks a little bit like it's working. And if it all dies, we'll just tie it off and everything. So unfortunately, this one's got one enlarged eye. Don't know if that's also a development or just a deformity, but this one can possibly live out its life. We'll see how it goes. So we'll just pop this little dude over there. Okay. Let me see, we've got a lively albino. This one's just also got its umbilical, but I mean most of this is dead. I don't want to pull it out or anything. It will just pinch that off. It's not bleeding or anything because it's all sort of dried up. So hopefully that will just dry up and fall off like it normally does when they come out of their sacs. So really pretty color little albino, tongue flicking, quite lively, moving around. So that's also really good to see. I'm just giving them a little wash to get rid of some of that slime, and obviously because it's starting to go off, it can be a bit of a problem. Okay. So there we go, we got one of each there so far. And then here's another anery. This one's also still got quite a large one attached with the blood vessels are not too bad, so we'll just give that one a little washy. Put him in here as well. Okay, it's trying to move without its yolk and that now. Okay, and then here's another snow. Oof, looks very weak as well, probably might not make it either. This one's got a lot of blood flow going there. Alright. So maybe what we'll do is we'll actually tie this one off, because I mean if this is all bad it's going to go in and poison the little guy. But yeah, this one's looking pretty weak. And the thing is, oh, little one's striking at me, that's a good sign. The anery that's in the tub. So I mean, the genetics of the snows, they are weaker animals. It's just like an albino will be weaker. This animal's very, very weak. That's really unfortunate. Might not make it either. But we'll give it a try. It has got feeling in that in the tail. It does move it, but it's quite limp. Alright, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so this little snow boa is our last of the snow boas that has survived. The one passed away quite recently after they were born, and then we had another one that also passed away after that. So this little guy, we've kept him in an incubator like this, in this container, keeping it nice and damp and everything, and a little water bowl to get water if it needs to. So it's very, very small, but it's nice thing is it's quite feisty now. It's quite lively, flicking the tongue and doing everything it should be doing. So we're hoping that this little guy is going to make it. So we're going to take him out of the incubating tub and we're going to pop him just in the rack over here. Okay, so you can see he's got a little bit of an umbilical, just a little red spot left, so that should close up and heal up fine. Really beautiful little snake. I hope this little guy can make it, guy or girl. So we just got a very, very basic setup, little hidey spot, which looks like he wants to go in there. And we're keeping it nice and damp still because their skin's still quite sensitive. They obviously got a shed after they hatch. And then obviously he's got his little water over here. So we're hoping that this little guy makes it. We've got the anery and the albino, which are doing pretty well. Okay, anery is down here. I need to add a little humidity again. But here you can see, and this one's going in the blue. Don't know if you guys can see that. So this one's quite a lot larger. And then there's also a little bit of his umbilical, he dropped off and everything. But this one's healed up nicely. So it's going to shed. I don't see there being any problems with this one. But yeah, I was very worried about the little snow. It was looking super weak and everything. So we hope it's going to pull through. So that's the one anery. Got the other anery over here. So these will be anery het for albinos, which is pretty cool. So we'll see how they look also once they've shed, and then once they've shed we can start feeding them. Okay, so out of quite a horrible story or beginnings, it's quite interesting to see how these little guys have made it. And here's the albino. So I mean, we tied off the umbilical cord when the eggs started going a bit muff. And that kept it from maybe poisoning them, and then it could heal and drop off and everything. Okay. Alright, so here's the little albino. Quite pretty when they're so young, they're so pretty. Very colorful. Stunning little snack. Yeah, so I'm running out of space. I don't know if I'm going to be holding some back, but they've got some nice genetics, but then again, the genetics are a little bit weak with the snow gene. I'm just happy to have a little snow baby. I've always wanted one, and just to see how it goes and develops. So we'll give these guys a little misting and then we'll leave them be. Awesome. So here's a little look at our survivors. They're all doing very well. They're eating very well. You can see they're looking a little bit like they're wanting to bite. Getting all defensive. So here's our albino. They're still quite small, but they're eating quite nicely now. And they looked very interested when I took them out. They looked like they wanted to eat, so we'll probably feed them again. This one's doing extremely well. This was the one that I kept saying is an anery. I think its color wasn't looking quite right, but it did color up. And I see in the video that's our normal double het. We've got our beautiful little snow here and our little anthristic. Very, very nice. That beautiful tail. It's a pity that the tail kind of darkens up as they get older, and the albinos, they also just go more yellowish. And here's a little snowy. Doing very, very well. So we're probably going to give these guys a little break after this, and we'll give him another feeding tomorrow. But yeah, it's very cool that they actually made it. So it was quite interesting. Bit of heartbreak in the beginning, but in the end we got 4 healthy little babies. Funnily enough, all the different variations we would have got from that breeding as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe,